All right, I'll be right back. You guys are all set.
Is it ready to go?
Yep.
All right, so the time is
6:01.
6:01. And I call the May 31st special meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Citizens' comments. You have some comments?
Oh, no,
Okay,
I was just
hanging out.
curious.
Okay.
Okay. We encourage curious.
Yeah. No, we haven't moved this chair.
That's okay.
Okay. Okay, correspondence and announcements.
Approval.
All right, approval of minutes, if that's okay. All right, did everyone get a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
Second motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes from the May 10th meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carrying none there. All right, correspondence. I received a letter from the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation with the highway use permit for the Reason to Ride Flag Day Bike Run, which will be held on Sunday, June 12th. And they will be using routes 12, 138, 14, 14A, 165, 169, Route 2, and 97. So be prepared if needed. Traffic will probably not be the need for it, but
How many motorcycles are used?
they don't say. So I don't know. But it goes through Plainfield, Griswold, Allentown, Preston, Norwich, Lisbon, and Canterbury. Okay, preschool sign up starts from June 1st to June 30th for residents. This is going to be in the newsletter and posted on the board. The COVID testing at Dodd Stadium is closed, and they moved it to the Rose City Senior Center in Norwich, Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays from 4 to 7. And that'll be posted as well. Broadband connectivity survey. So part of the federal infrastructure bill is funds for broadband. So the state will be receiving funds to disperse, and the first step
Is the survey.
is the survey to find out where there's gaps in the broadband. So we have the survey posted. It's currently on the Facebook page, on the town website, and it'll be going out in the newsletter. And we're encouraging residents and business owners in town to take the survey from their home or business located in town, because that's how it reads the broadband.
I think one of the challenges with that is a lot of people just have no idea what they have. What do you have at home?
It has a, what do I have?
Yeah.
For the
What
company?
internet service? No, not who. What speed do you have at
Oh,
home?
it has a test in the survey.
Okay.
It has like a thing that you can click in the survey, and it
Gotcha.
tests your stuff.
I think the fastest we can get is 1 and 3. 3 one download, 1 upload.
No, you can get, I think you can get 200. Yeah, you can get 200.
Really?
Yes. Comcast, not Xfinity, Comcast. If you have a business account.
How much is that a month?
It is slightly more expensive than Xfinity, but there are 0 fees. So I pay $99, $95 per month for 200 down, and my bill actually says $99, $95. There's no taxes, there's no fees, it's a business account. I get priority customer service but I pay slightly more, but it made sense for me to do it this way. I could pay less for the same speed, but the benefits of this quality of service and customer service make sense for me working from home.
So I got an email from DOT again. They're gonna be repaving 49 from 165 all the way to 14A, and they're gonna put rumble strips in the middle.
While we're on the topic of rumble strips, can they put them perpendicular to the road rather than parallel?
I don't know, I can ask them that probably not though. I can ask them.
Because what I was thinking was, in the district of the school, put them before and after the speed limit signs, a audible physical cue that
Right,
speed limit change.
yeah, check with them on that, it's a suggestion. I received, this is from the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. They have a coordinated medical emergency direction services service credit, and that's for American Ambulance, goes towards American Ambulance, and it's $769.20.
They're sending those.
Well, we give their permission and we send it to American Ambulance. That's all I have for correspondence and announcements. I don't know if anyone else has any.
No, I just want, well, yes, I want to make a comment that Tracy, you and Jody did a great job for the Memorial Day parade and ceremony yesterday. Yes, yesterday. Since our normal master of ceremonies moved out of town, and we've been doing it, what, 10, 15 years?
Before I was here.
So he had it down to a well-oiled machine, and you and Jody stepping in, good job. So,
I was like, I honestly don't know what is done because all we do is the road permit and we contact the military. So,
and write a check, and the town writes a check.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
No, I gave it a grade of 90, which, isn't just passing, it's an A.
I think we were really lucky because everyone, even people that were there, knew what's always done, so they filled in the gaps, like when the flag on the green, and like you guys noticed that was something we didn't have in the airport. So.
Right, and I also want to call out Karen Britt because she was voluntold. Hey, you're in charge of the flowers, so good job for Karen Britt for rolling with that as well. So I think it went smooth. We didn't hear anyone complaining.
All right, anything else? All right, board and committee reports, we don't have any. Finance report, attached. This is where we stand with the fiscal year ending in a month. And I think Julie said it looks like we might have about 20,000 that wasn't spent or hasn't been. So
There's a few bills I still haven't gotten in that I don't know if they'll come in before June 30th or not, so.
How much of those bills total? Are they more than 20 or less than 20K surplus we currently have?
Oh, they'll be less than 20K.
So there'll be
But it's
some
probably,
money
I'm expecting one around 10, but I'm not sure.
undesignated fund.
Well, we have, if the income, so we did well on income this year. The building permits have been crazy with all the building and conveyance, so we've gotten a lot extra than we normally do. And we've been tweaking the how to estimate the tax, what we're going to take in the taxes, because you can't really predict what you're going to get in prior year taxes. Some years you get a lot of people that pay off their prior years, and some years you don't. So.
Anyone have any questions for you? so moving on to old business, ARPA funds update. I contacted, still waiting to hear from the fire department as to what their decision is with their ARPA funds that we have set aside for them. As to whether they just want those lump sum towards, to use towards an ambulance, or if they want us to, if they want to do projects through the town, doing the paperwork for it. And I asked Jody last week, and they hadn't had a meeting on it yet, so we're still waiting there. And then with the radios, I heard back, we had to submit a request letter to have the school buses, because they don't, it's the state communications radio system, and they don't normally allow buses because of the chatter. And they said that they're starting like an email list, like reporting list, so that if there are issues, they'll let me know. So that was their way of saying yes. Because I had to ask them again, does this mean that that's a yes, or does this, and then they said, well, we answered that. And I'm like,
You're asking us, we said yes, and we're telling you that we gave you the answer already.
yeah. And their answer was that they are creating that, or they can report stuff, so. We're gonna move forward with the ordering of the radios, and because the quote was given back in October, they have to be recorded again because all the prices went up. So I'm waiting for a new quote.
On the ARPA funds for the fire department, the tradition of doing things in-house and generally a volunteer town, are they going to be subject to Baker Davis minimum wage requirements?
Well, the thing is, they can't, everything has to go out to bid because it's federal money, so we have to follow federal guidelines, so.
That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah, so everything's gonna have to be done, through bids and through everything, so.
Have as much time for twice the price.
It's the government way.
Yep. So that's what we have for the ARPA funds update. For ordinances, the referendum ordinance, ended up getting repealed, so that starts 15 days from the town meeting, so the only time we ever have a problem with that is at budget time, so next year will be good. Still working on the driveway with Public Works. The driveway ordinance is turning into, the more that we're looking into it, it's turning into more of an encroachment policy, because it's not just driveways that we have. The whole point is to protect the town roads. And it's not just driveways that we find challenge that. There's a lot of logging in town with the large vehicles that are going on and off. And
They're chipping away the road.
They're chipping away the road, so we're putting something in there for that. In fact, while we were doing this, we had someone request to cut across the road to put, like electrical.
Power, yeah, they went from power from one of their buildings to
Yeah, so
another.
that's another thing that's encroaching on the road. So we're actually copying what the DOT does, the encroachment permit, and you like check the box what you want to do. So it went from a driveway redo to a whole road thing. So
A town road encroachment.
Yeah.
Ordinance.
Yeah. So it would just be like the ordinance with regard to like the permit that we're working on and everything too. So that's the ordinances for Wiley Schoolhouse. We just got an email from the electrician, and
Can you answer that fire?
Hello. So
It's Julia.
Raleigh Schoolhouse
Oh, yeah.
electrical work.
So we contacted the electrician because they were supposed to start in May, and he reached out to the place where he's getting the electrical box for the outside of the building. So he reached out to the supplier, and they still do not have an estimate on when that box is going to come in. So we don't have any date for when that's going to get done. library roof project. We met with the contractor and did stuff with the plans. Okay. And they're gonna let me know when it was time.
You're gonna dispose of those solar panels.
The solar panels, they're gonna remove, and we are taking them down, and the town's gonna have to dispose of them. We have people that want it back in the back one.
Maybe stripping them.
So then, progress with the grants. I did a grant for DOT elderly and disabled grant. Finished, filled it out and submitted it, and we're getting it. It's a matching grant, so it's going to help us cover our dial-a-ride and our it's called a caregiver reimbursement fund. So we have everything ready to go from that grant to start with our dial-a-ride program on July 1st. So we're going to start promoting that so people can sign up. There's a registration form for it, and all the details are coming out for that. That's for 60 and over and disabled residents. For medical appointments. And that's a grant, since it's a grant funded program, it's only guaranteed to run for as long as we have the money in the grant. To like when we have matching too, so as long as that's there. And that was for $17,000, the match part. So. And then Plainfield Rec, they have a grant to help cover so Voluntown residents can apply for the Plainfield summer camp, and there'll be transportation from the Voluntown school to the Plainfield camp. So there's information of this that's posted today. And I think that grant, I don't remember how much that grant was. It went through Plainfield. I think it was like 5,000. I had to write a letter for the town of Plainfield to submit for the grant. Beach Pond and Beachdale Drawdown. I heard back from the state. They're still working on this. They said that they can't do both ponds at the same time, so either one or the other. I said for this winter, if we were just going to do one to do Beachdale, because Beach Pond's going to need longer time to get contractors and prepare. And they're still working on whether we'll be able to do an actual deeper than 2-foot drawdown. Yeah. No, they're looking into that, but what they are suggesting are worms, because they said that someone went out, they had a team out there to look, and they said that most of the pond can do it in 2 feet, but there is a section of that 2 feet on its own wouldn't be sufficient, but they have this whole thing with putting in berms and everything, and they said that would make it, if residents put berms in on that part, then it would block the water, so they'd be able to do that. And they'll, if that's what their only thing they'll approve, then they'll provide all the information on that. But that's not something that can be done right away either. That has to be planned. And there's a whole permitting system that they said they could probably simplify if that process goes on.
So where did these berms go?
They go they somehow go between, here's the property and the water. They would go a certain way and make it block the water from getting to the property.
It's a coffer dam, so it's a
It's like
mini
a dam
dam.
thing.
So they want you to build a coffer dam.
They're blow up things. They're tire tubes.
Well, they could just put out 3 feet, 4 feet of water, and save everybody up.
Yeah.
I know.
But then, and I can see it for residents already, because they've mentioned it in the past, trying to get a contractor lined up and coordinating the coffer dam and the contractor to do the work almost never lines up. Because no one's ever got availability on such short notice. But they can't plan a year in advance because they never know what they're gonna get.
All right, well, they should try and then make a firm commitment, because I've already told people that we're probably gonna draw down in the summer, but if they can only do Beachdale or Beach Pond, then do Beachdale.
Yeah.
Give all the homeowners in Beach Pond a chance to try and line something up.
Yeah, so that's what I said.
Yeah, because I was just looking on the map, because just driving down 165, it's Patchogue Pond is currently drawn down to,
That's why they wouldn't
Yeah,
do any of the.
but that's only
drawdowns.
2.5 feet to draw it down.
well, I was just wondering how much that drawdown was to get it down to, it is, you could walk almost the entire way across right now. It is down to the bottom. So,
I don't know, maybe John knows. When they redid the dam back in the mid-'80s, I was living in Tokyo at the time, so it wasn't around.
Which dam?
When they redid the dam at Beach Pond,
Yeah.
they replaced the old earthen dam and they put the new one in. How long did it take to fill the pond back up? Because they took it right down, all the way, it was at the natural level.
Mhm.
So the water was basically only up by the boat launch by the rocks. So it was down probably about 16 feet, 18 feet.
Yeah, because from where the dam is over there, and you head towards Rhode Island, there's a natural berm there. It gets shallow, it's a sandy bottom. It would be like where, 10 Ride Road,
Yeah.
what's that development out there?
yeah,
Crossing over to, the other side, it's a natural berm, because when the water's in there, it's maybe 4 or 5 feet deep.
But how long did it take to refill the pond? Do you remember?
Geez, I don't know.
So Jody might remember. I'll ask him. But yeah, I'm sure it took all season to refill.
Good. I'm working on it, I don't know. I'm getting updates, so, that was just the last.
so
update.
you're saying that the dam is 40 years old, you said 1980.
Yeah, one of the mid-'80s.
So when's the dam due to be replaced?
The bridge is good to 1927. I think
Yeah.
the
The bridge lasted 100 years, so.
Yeah, but that was way overbuilt in the 1920s, and its replacement will not last 50 years.
Actually, you're at a point. We should probably at some point ask the state, dam is going to have its 40-year anniversary. When does it get inspected? Who's responsible?
They actually, all the inspections reports are available online. They do inspect them. Actually, I was looking at them not too long ago when I was answering a question for a resident. So they do have all the, because it is a state dam that's owned by the state, so all those reports are online. If you go to the Connecticut Connecticut government website, they have
Dams.com.
they have a dam commission. So
Yeah, because
everyone's retiring, because one of the guys that I always talk to from the dam commission, he's retiring, so it's gonna be crazy. I think in a month, there's gonna be all new people everywhere, so hopefully it's not.
Yeah, we were talking about dams a couple of years ago because there's 3 or 4 privately owned dams in town. So, and some of those were,
The reports, there's a whole schedule of when they do the inspections and the reports and stuff. I don't know if the actual reports are there, but the schedule, the dates and stuff are.
yeah, but there's a list of dams and who owns them. I remember that, and because there were some residents who privately owned dams just because they bought the property.
People didn't even know they owned them.
Right, and then a report came out and it was like, hey, you need to fix this dam. What dam? You own this dam, you fix it.
Well, no, in the case of Jay said they're going to be taking the ground out, the Ashland Pond dam. So it's too expensive to keep these things maintained. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah.
So the Title VI coordinator, we're still working on that. That's a whole transportation thing. Porch Hill Bridge, we're still moving forward with the DOT grant. We
And
have,
getting a sidewalk.
what?
And getting a sidewalk.
Oh, on the bridge. I haven't checked in with them yet. I think we have a check-in coming up. We also have to figure out, we have the outgoing steep grant, current steep grant that we got for the engineering part. We still have money left in there. We have to talk to the steep grant, our steep grant contact from the state and find out how we handle that, because they won't, to see if we can use it for, what were we gonna?
The municipal advisor, if we do decide to go for bonding, part of that grant was for design, which is going to be 100% covered now by the DOT, so we can't use that. But there is a portion of it to be used for the bonding, the cost that the town needs to start the bonding, which is hiring a municipal advisor. The rest of it's probably going to be, I don't know what they're going to do. They would, it can only be used for the purpose of what you originally intended in the budget, which was the designing, yeah.
Because it's a new steep grant, we just got an email, there's a new steep grant opening up, and they won't issue a new one if you have an outstanding old one, so. No, but they won't let us spend it, they can only spend it on what they say, so. But, that we might just have to give it back. But then we have a new steep grant to work on. Yeah.
Well, what would you prospectively see the new steep grant being used for?
We have a couple of
Bennett?
different things. Yeah, we have the Bennett, Bennett Road, Bennett Circle, all the drains need to be replaced down there. We have the garage out here, turning it into public bathrooms and an office and storage space. So, yeah, we do have a couple of options.
How much is left in that first steep grant?
About 100,000. No, but
But they don't
but
let you
Enough
use
to
it.
do, like,
You can't, they won't let you with the DOT steep grant, so, it was only for the. We've already talked.
like,
about
it was
that.
like maybe 10 grand was for the grant writer. There was a certain amount, 10, 20 grand for the grant writers, 25 for bonding stuff, and all the rest was for design fees.
Because we've already asked if we can use reuse that for the rest of the. So, if they won't let us use it for the rest of the bridge project, they're not gonna let us use it for anything else. So, yeah, but we're waiting, we're still waiting to see if we can talk to them.
I want to, at least get, if we decide, and that's the decision, maybe we need to decide sooner rather than later, whether we go for bonding, financing, or use a split, some of the undesignated fund or some finance, or if you're doing Bennett Road, then if you do bonding, you do it as one, rather than two different issues, so there's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts on that you have to figure out.
That's what we're trying to figure out. We're still trying to get estimates on.
So the bonding person, you have to go out to bid for a bonding municipal advisor, it's called. And that can be somebody you hire, usually like a contract, like you'd hire a lawyer or something, like, so it'd be like 20, 25 grand for the year to pay for this person to do all the bonding legal documents and whatnot. And then there's a second person, I forgot, that actually manages and the financial end of the bond.
If we were to bond the bridge out and the other work, how long would we, 20 years?
Well, the bridge, we only.
Probably at least.
Yeah, it would be for what, 450, it would be for under $500,000, the bonding would be for.
But if the bonding would probably be like 20 years, I would say.
you have experience with bonding?
No.
You probably do on the retail side, but not on the back end.
No.
Tony does.
But there-
Tony works on bonding at Norwich, so he's gonna be my
Is that
go-to
your
guy.
guru? You can also approach the banks.
I did. I approached Citizens and they said, no, we don't do that. You have to go out to a private company. At least Citizens won't. I don't know about the other banks, but Citizens is our bank.
Centerville is making a big push into know that Jewett City Savings Bank has also done some bonding, and a couple of the other towns, so we're talking to the banks just to see, it doesn't cost any thought.
The formation of a municipal ISP commission. Do we have anything on that?
I need to get together with Julie for just the standing commission language, and we'll put that out. So I'll get together with you, Julie,
Okay.
by next week. And then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Because that can then pick up from the survey and everything coming back in from the survey.
Yeah.
So, and I will be on that commission.
The 457B update.
Well, that would be me, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So I read through this thing, that they sent us the deferred compensation plan. This is a way of plan document. It would appear that the town can piggyback onto the state plan. And it probably makes really good sense because it's so much cheaper than what Equitable offers. The one downside is that Equitable offers a type of mutual fund called target-dated retirement funds, which are kind of no-brainer. I'm going to retire in 2045. I'll pick a 2045 target-date retirement fund. The state doesn't seem to offer those as an option, which is unfortunate. When you look at the fees that are, because they charge us 80 basis points, it's 80 basis points, right? Charges.
Were they trying to do it to 60 or something, but I don't know if it got
Was it
there.
60? All right.
It was,
60 or 80.
they gave us if I remember correctly, they gave us a schedule based on total asset valuation that we have with them. And it was basically, once we hit, was it 500K? I think it was going to drop to 60 basis points.
Okay.
So
That's 0.6%. So that's $3,000 a year is what they're charging to administer the plan on their side. And then the compensation for the rep is about 75 basis points is what he's getting. And the state strips all that stuff out, but they don't send a rep to advise. So you'll have a 1-800 call number, and there might be some different credential will come by once a year. But it's a lot cheaper.
So
I gotta say, I don't see him that often for advising.
Yeah.
exactly. So prior to Jim, you showing up on the board, joining the board, being elected to the board, prior to you, how many times have we seen them
3 times,
in past
5 years, and I've been here 5 years.
And I talked to some people, and they had said that he was kind of condescending. It was a turnoff to speak to. I don't know. Julie told me that. Some other people told me that. When they asked them, I'm like, well, he didn't talk at the meeting at all. The other fellow did all the talking. He was just a bookend.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably the better option.
Okay. And so you think that we can move right away, even though we just signed? Were there any penalties on the other one?
That I don't know. I don't think there are any penalties there.
reading
I think
through it, there were no
Tony
penalties?
said there were still some time limits. They had to do something on the state end before they could offer it up to people outside. So they were still working on that.
Yeah, there are a couple more. Eventually just sold the business to the company. So forth. But, we should make Tony the point man. He's the
Absolutely.
one He's so very interested.
When,
That's a specialty at Norwich, so.
right, and then, so is there an automatic conversion of if you have this fund, this fund, this fund? Will it be a match, or will we have to have every plan participant choose their new allocation?
I would assume they'd have to choose, right?
Yeah, probably. What you're referring to in the industry, they call mapping. If you were in,
Right.
Franklin Templeton Large Cap Growth Fund, you're going to be in the TIA CRAF or the Vanguard.
Right, because they did some mapping on their reorganization from their first meeting with us.
Right. So we might have to sit down, ask for help from Prudential or whoever it is.
Yeah, because I think the people who, haven't looked at their statements in years, because there are going to be people in town who, they've got money sitting there and
Never
either
changed it.
forgotten about it or just don't think about it. And then they're going to get a letter saying, hey, the town's moving over to here, you need to make these decisions. So we got to think, I'm not saying that's a a negative about doing this. It's just something that we've got to think about for doing this. That there might be, you might get flooded with phone calls. And flooded 20, 30 people.
Tony,
I know.
go on too.
There we go.
It's
Yeah.
here on Tuesdays. Honestly, that's what they did originally. The guy, we took a printout of all the funds you could invest in and said, I recommend this one, this one, this one, this one. And they handed that to me, and that's how I was supposed to advise everybody on what to invest in. And what did I know? I don't know anything about investing.
So do we want to make a motion on that to proceed with this, or do we want to wait until the state is ready?
No, I think we should call the person up and find out, what the timeline is, and if it's October or September.
Okay.
Start
Put it on the
lining up.
agenda for the next meeting to vote on it.
Yeah, start lining that stuff. And if the person can come up, ask Adam Burrows to come.
Yeah.
And Kate Bowen. Because it's cheaper than whatever the school district is, and if they're using retail as well too. And to the point, when you're talking about moving your meeting plan over to Equitable, was kicking you under the table. You want to do that? This would be a lot cheaper if you decide to go over it.
Okay, that's the plan. All right, so the budget 22-23 referendum is next Tuesday, 27th.
Yes, I just want to point out, it was not today. I pulled into the parking lot this morning after dropping kids off at school and went, oh wait, I'm not voting today, that's next week.
Is that why you were here? We're like,
Yeah, exactly.
somebody walked in and said Skip was here. I was like, why is Skip here? I didn't see you.
And I thought I was voting today. And that was the other thing. I was like, no.
Not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
No, it's been a week. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, I agree.
Way better with you. All right, so that's we have the meeting right after the referendum. We have the meeting at 8 to do the mill rate.
Yeah.
So, and that is based off
That's
of
8 p.m.
That's based off of the budget's passing. We don't
You
just
mean 2000?
we don't just make up a mill rate, because I've had to explain that to people too, that because we used to vote on the mill rate at the meeting.
Yep.
But our town attorney said we didn't have to do that because the mill rate's based off of your revenue, the revenue that you had at the meeting, and the budgets that are passed. It's like a
Yeah,
calculation.
it's an automatic number. It's
We
not.
don't just make up a number, it's the calculations. So the town is voting on the mill rate if the budgets are approved. So if they're not, then we're gonna have more meetings. We're needing to remember. So we'll see.
Yes.
We'll know more of that.
How are we gonna do the live stream? Because if they're all still in here,
We want to move the meeting. It's a public meeting, but do we want to just move down to Tracy's office?
We can do the live stream real quick when people are in.
okay.
Oh wait, where's the takeaways have to scan?
Right.
Might be interesting.
Just
Yeah.
stand next to the camera here. I just didn't know if it would be too chaotic.
But it only goes like for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Are we violating any ordinances or laws if we're live streaming and there's the voting machines that are in here?
No. There was a question at one time whether you can conduct business within 75 feet of voting,
Yeah.
but it'll be closed by
No
then.
one will be voting.
And we talked to the town lawyer and said no, as long as you're not actively,
And then voting is from already.
the voting will be closed at that point. So
Okay, well, I'm ready to.
Gonna be a short meeting, so I mean, if we just all,
We have to do it like by someone's.
just stand on one camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I'll grab my tripod and I'll set my
We
phone
can
up.
just go in your office.
Yeah.
You can just do it on the laptop.
As long as it's still live streamed. Everyone can see it.
I forgot about it using the Zoom camera instead of that
Mhm.
one.
Yeah.
That works good.
We'll figure out the technology, but we can do it outside of this room.
Affordable housing plan, did you guys have a chance to read it?
Yeah, this is, we had no changes from the presentation that John did, correct?
Right, this is just, he just made it more in the format. Nice looking plan. And again, it's a plan, it's not signing us to do anything. It's a plan that's gonna be evolving, because it has to be updated or whatever, too. So
And what is our
our deadline
state
is
deadline? Yeah,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
So we need to decide if you don't pass it tonight, then you have to send a letter saying we need more time.
So I'm going to make a motion to approve the affordable housing plan as currently written.
Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded to adopt the Voluntown Affordable Housing Plan as put together by our planner and the committee and the public input. So all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, hearing none is approved. The meeting has RFP. The one you got emailed, I have just a couple of like editing changes to it, which I gave that to you as well. It's marked on that page where the edit changes are.
Yep.
So the
Oh, see, now seeing your pink highlight there, I was like, that's a weird artifact on the photocopy. Now it makes sense.
I didn't do it in color. But there's a change there where just the bullet point was taken out and
Yeah.
it was just done differently. And then on the next page, a paragraph was adjusted and there was just some clarification put in. So it didn't really change what
And
it
the
was saying.
easement is still in process?
Yes,
Okay.
Do you know where it is in process?
it was received.
Good.
So,
So we're just waiting for his attorney to.
yeah.
Have we cut him a check?
No, that's part of the agreement. So that has to be agreed on.
Yeah, you'll have to agree at a meeting before I can do that.
Yeah.
But after he comes back to us.
Yeah.
Got it.
So we can just go forward with the RFP and carry on. And then the last change was in section 7.
The town of Allentown reserves the right to reject.
Yeah, there's more added to that. That gives us like amending power and rejecting power and question power. So.
Okay.
And then as far as the attachments, I'm still trying to figure out if anyone knows what a locus map is.
Okay.
The attachments might change, but that's just.
Shows you where all the really big grasshoppers are in town.
I know. I don't know what that is. I thought it was an assessor thing, and she doesn't know what it is either. So that might come off. I have the parcel map. We have the photographs.
So where did that come from then?
This is from the person that we were working with years ago from the Connecticut Historic Preservation, which changed its name since then. That's how long ago it was.
Gotcha.
So maybe I'll ask John, the planner, maybe he knows. But I'll go through him with that stuff because.
I have a feeling that John is going to go, oh yes, and then give you the history of what this is.
So I don't know if we want to make a like if anyone has any suggestions on this, changes, amendments, if I can just go forward with it once I get all the attachments straightened out, or if we want to talk about it more, but I'd rather get it out there as soon as possible.
I agree. I make a motion to approve the RFP going out
Yeah.
for the Allentown Methodist Meeting House. We need to disposition it. What we said, we're going to try and have a plan in place approved before the end of the year.
Before the end of,
Maybe even
before like it gets cold.
before winter, yes.
That building's making it through the winter.
Well, as soon as possible. That's why we're
Right.
moving forward. Yeah.
So I make a motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to move forward with the RFP. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none. We'll get that as soon as possible. Okay. So next we have the Bennett Road extension request. You guys have a copy of this as well.
Yep.
This was from the last meeting, I don't even remember, a couple meetings ago.
It was the last meeting.
So what you have in front of you is what was submitted. We use the driveway permit because as
We don't have the encroachment
we don't have an
permit
encroachment permit.
Yet.
I had Public Works go out and they had some questions. They were fine with his really detailed drawing. And they sent me the letter on there. They just had some questions about traffic. So all of these will be mentioned to the property, to the person with the request. So things that he needs to check on and what he's responsible for.
Okay.
So we just need to decide if we want to approve it with the suggestions from the, as recommended from Public Works.
Since we have Public Works here, is there any real concerns that you have other than the questions that have already been
This was the Bennett Road, like cut across.
trenching across the road from one building, from his house to his boathouse?
Oh, yeah, it's been.
Tell me.
And he did that before, didn't he? Wasn't that the same guy that did that before? The guy that owned both houses?
Has he done it before? I don't know.
I believe he has.
Jeff's been doing all the research on all this.
Okay.
He's writing, Jeff's doing all the research for the enforcement policy, so he's got all the deeds on here. So.
Okay. Then as long as those concerns are addressed, I make a motion to.
And he did give us a check for, as required by the.
By the current driveway permit, yep. That was $1,000
Yep.
retainer, basically.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I make a motion to, with the concerns noted, I approve the driveway permit to move forward.
So motion's been made and seconded to approve the Robert Lambert's trench across Bennett extension. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, hearing none. So next, we have the Bennett Road driveway.
Brown Road.
Brown Road, thank you. Brown Road driveway permit. It was inspected, this is to get their deposit back. It was inspected by Public Works. It was constructed as specified, so it's approved like from the sketch. And then just a note, wanted us to note that there's damage, not from this, where this driveway was, but this is the same, all the houses that are being built there, there is concern that there could be damage from the other properties. So,
Was this the drainage issue where?
no, this is no, that one's fine. This is the other house. There's like the two houses on Brown Road first. One is the first at the beginning of the whole project, and then the second one was at the end of the whole project. And the one at the end was on the old, where the old road was, and the one where the beginning was on the new part of the road. And the drain was on the last one. That was all set.
Okay.
So when we release this, because they're all ready for the CO and they can't get the CO until we do this, we'll just let them know that we had some concern about of other areas, so that he should be using aprons or something to limit the damage, because we can withhold any of the deposits in those areas. So I have a motion to
Motion to approve driveway permit 82 Brown Road.
So motion's been made and seconded to approve the construction part of the permit and release the funds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, hearing none. The procurement policy, we're still working on, Julie's working on it, and Tony will be looking it over too. That's for, this is for all the ARPA funds. We have to have a policy in place for like bidding and when we go out to bid. So that's being worked on. We have guidelines to work with for that, so that's moving forward. Tax refunds. I have one tax refund for Patricia Adams, 382 Rockville Road for $8.04.
Then Libby.
Second the motion to pay Blake.
All right, so motion's been made and seconded to pay the refund of $8.04 as recommended by the tax collector. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, hearing none, it's approved. Okay. Is there anything other? No?
Motion to adjourn.
No.
No?
Do we have executive session?
We haven't been.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, I was gonna ask, so Tamarack Lodge is back in business.
Yeah.
Any noise complaints? Because they were rocking and rolling last night.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Was it last night or
Yeah, Sunday?
night?
Sunday. night.
Sunday.
Sunday.
They had a-
Yes, 'cause Sunday at like 6 o'clock, it was
They had a country fest.
at 7 o'clock. I walked down with family, we walked down to the pond after dinner and we were down on the dock and I was like, and my 13-year-old was like, who's playing that music?
Oh,
Because it
you
was
hear it
just-
at your house?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was loud.
Very loud.
I'm not sure.
Could you hear it at your house?
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Oh, you're closer. You're on North Shore, right?
Well, I was both at my mother's house at North Shore and then up on Wiley School.
So
I'm
I'm
just
further
wondering-
down
I'm,
the Patchogue River, we could hear it too.
I haven't heard it.
Well, you're Bailey Pond, it wouldn't travel that far.
No, I haven't heard anyone say anything.
I'm just curious. And then the other thing, I noticed we get a lot of 15-mile-an-hour speed limit signs that are popping
Where?
up. On North Shore Road,
Where?
on Bassett Mill Road, before the beach. There's another one on Bassett Mill Road as you head up that road. I'm just wondering where these 15-mile-an-hour signs are coming
Where's the
from.
one on Bassett?
Right in the beginning.
Did we put that there?
We did not.
Who's putting them there?
Ronnie put that one up.
I don't know why that was there.
Okay.
I know the one, we have some,
And we had the other one posted next to the beach because of
about
people walking across.
So we have that one for the beach traffic. And I know we have one, the only ones I know about are the ones by the beach. And there's one on Campbell Mill because of the farm.
Sure.
But those are the only, and that's just like in those areas. So I don't know about any of the other ones.
What is our town speed limit?
25. If it, all of the roads, all of the town roads are 25. So, and technically,
Unless otherwise posted.
unless otherwise posted, but technically, unless it's like a safety reason, you're not supposed to go lower than 25. So that's why we have the safety reasons of the farm and the beach. So those are the only ones I know about.
Then, I guess, just to show you that I talked to Jody, who's saying you're having a hard time with reading numbers.
Yes.
And I was wondering if, you want to get new members, the best way, you bring in girls and boys seem to follow. If there's any cause or maybe an idea to try and recruit some of the high school kids.
That's up to the fire department. So that would be a suggestion for them. I did mention it to them because I noticed that some fire departments have junior fire departments where they even do like repeat graders. You can start, I think, when you're 14. So I did suggest that. Because I know that there's at least one student over at the school that's junior fire or a different fire department.
Have to go. go out of town to do it. Missed opportunity.
Their dad's really involved in the fire department too. So. But yeah, it's their decision.
Right.
All right, so executive session. If we have a motion to go into executive
I
session.
make a motion to enter executive
And we're
session
gonna add Ira.
with Ira.
All right, so the motion's been made and seconded to go into executive session for personnel, and we're adding Ira into that. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, hearing none. We can go into Julie's office.
You wanna go in here, you want me to just end it here?
We can go into
Where's your office?
Okay. Do you want me to